Why does a large business need a small business program director?
Based on law, government and the prime contractors have to use small business subcontractors.
Why does a large business need a small business program director?
There's a couple of reasons. One is there's FAR regulations, federal acquisition regulations, based on law that says that the government and the prime contractors have to use small business subcontractors as a part of getting their work done. We have small business goals as a part of our small business plans that are required by FAR 52219-9. But also there's no large business that does everything, and small businesses add a lot to the offerings that we have. They can usually bring a little more personal expertise to things. They can usually bring some qualifications and credentials, maybe licensing that a large business doesn't have for some of the work. If you look at some of the things that we do, like in life support services, where we're maybe running a military base or an Air Force base for the government, we can't be the experts on every single thing, from whether, from running food service to fixing planes to fixing the air conditioners, running the boiler plants, doing the environmental, doing the electrical, running logistics and supply, fixing vehicles. I mean, you can imagine the plethora of things that we have to do. One company trying to be an expert in every single thing is very difficult. So we reach out to small businesses to support us in these endeavors. And that's also true in a lot of our other kinds of work as well. The small businesses bring a lot to the table and help us to be very successful in our contracts with the government.
Wow. No, that's very well said. Thank you. And so myself as a small business, what do you look for from small businesses like myself?
First, I look for.
By the way, if that's the wrong question, just correct me. Don't feel bad.
No, that's a great question, and I actually put that in a slide in every presentation that I do at small business events. And the first thing that we look for is your core capabilities and competencies. Are they what we need? And the business ethics, company culture, reputation, past performance. Do you have the resources to be able to perform the work? As we all know, there's small businesses that are, $20,000 a year, and then there's small businesses that are, $100 million a year.
Right.
So one of the things that I always like to ask is, what is a company's sweet spot? What size contract are they hoping to get with us? Because we want to make sure that a company is successful, and a company that overpromises won't be successful. So I'd rather that a company was just honest and said, I'm really comfortable around the $500,000 mark. Then when we've got contracts going out for $20 million, I might not ask them, but when I have a smaller subcontract, they'll be on that list.
Right.
Because some companies don't want a smaller subcontract, but the other guys are going to knock it out of the park because that's their sweet spot. That's where they're really good at.
Oh, I like that.
Honesty. Honesty and communications goes a long way between the large businesses and the small businesses when we're both trying to be successful.
No, and I know that is so true. Can you share a particular experience that you had successfully with a small business recently? And you don't have to name the company, but just an example, because people like stories. So we like to hear, right? When we use words like honesty and we use communication, well, like, what does that mean to some people? Because I think we all know what it means to be honest. Give me an example of of something that you may come to mind. You have any recent?
Man, I've got, I don't know about recent, but
okay, but
so many.
Yeah. Okay, something in the past. Okay.
Here's an example of one of my favorite small businesses that I've done a lot of work with over the years. When they would make a mistake, they never tried to hide it. They would come and say, we made an error, and this is what we did to fix it. And what I loved about them is they said, and this is what we did to make sure we never did it again. And they would show me the business process that they had put into place, and then how they had taught their employees that new business process to make sure that they never had that happen again. For example, we were on a military base, and you're not supposed to put cans of paint that have paint into the regular dumpsters,
Right.
because it's
Right.
environmental.
Right.
And one
Right.
of their employees did. And, you know, if the base environmental caught it first, there would have been quite a
Yes.
big
Reports
deal.
and things like that. Right.
But
Absolutely.
they came to us, they self-reported it, they fixed it, they put the process in place. And the government, our customer, was so impressed with how this small business had handled everything that it didn't become a big deal with the environmental department on the base, because they were comfortable that it was handled and it was never going to happen again. And that's the kind of honesty that makes working side by side, you know, with our small businesses really go smoothly.
Oh, that's a great example. I like that. And I'm very aware of that because I come from the construction background. So I'm very well aware of that. No, that's a great example. I don't know many people that would have done that, you know.
That's why I said they're one of my favorite small businesses, because I know I can trust them to do the work and to do it well and to do it within the costs that they quoted.
Right.
But that if there's an issue, they're going to come see me and we're going to work on it together. They're not going to leave our company hanging for the government to be mad at, because they understand that our name's on the contract. So, you know, whatever they're doing is still our name on the contract. So, you know, it benefits all of us for us to work together.
Right. Right. No, very true. Very true. Now, what about the small business persons who, you know, when we're trying to reach out to some of these large businesses, we're not sure if it's going anywhere. We're not sure if we're getting any traction. They're telling us to put our name on a list, right? And you're like, okay, I go to all these smaller businesses and I do all these steps and I put my name on a list, right? You know, when is anything going to happen for me, right? What do you tell me some of those?
The first thing that small businesses have to understand is who is the company they're talking to and what do they buy? I get approached a lot by companies that want to sell services or products. We don't buy. We're never going to buy. And I feel bad, you know, that I can't help them. But one of the things I like to tell small businesses is every large company is out there trying to win new work. You know, they're bidding on new stuff because contracts end. If you figure that you win maybe 30% of the proposals that you're going after, you know, and then you've got other stuff that's coming to an end to grow, you know, you've got to be constantly bidding on new work. And so what I like to tell small businesses is figure out what that company might be going to bid on, and then go out and look at that draft RFP or maybe the previous RFP to that work, and then go through that scope of work and see what it is in there that company is going to have to bid on to do. And in there, is there anything that small business does that they can say to that large company, I can do this better than you?